Jake, the lumberjack, lived in a peaceful village surrounded by lush forests. He was known for his strong arms, his trusty axe, and his love for the towering trees that surrounded their village. Every morning, just as the sun kissed the treetops, Jake would venture into the woods to cut down trees. He was skilled at his job, and the village depended on him for their firewood and building materials. One sunny morning, just like any other, Jake headed into the dense forest. The birds were chirping, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of pine. Jake loved the woods, and he felt at home among the trees. However, this day was different. As he worked his way deeper into the forest, he noticed a peculiar tree. It was unlike any he had ever seen before. Its leaves shimmered with an otherworldly light, and its bark had an unusual pattern. Curiosity got the better of Jake, and he decided to cut down this unique tree. As soon as his axe touched the trunk, a brilliant, blinding light surrounded him. When the light faded, he found himself in a daze, standing in the forest with no memory of who he was. His past, his identity, and even his name were lost in the shadows. Stunned and disoriented, Jake wandered through the woods for hours. He couldn't recognize anything around him, and he didn't even know his own name. He was like a man without a past, and he had no idea how he had ended up in the forest. This strange and confusing ordeal left him feeling helpless and scared. Weeks turned into months, and months into years, but Jake's memory remained lost. He had to start his life anew. With no knowledge of his past, he took on odd jobs in different towns to make a living. But something was always missing. There was an emptiness in his heart, a feeling that a part of him was lost forever. He moved from place to place, hoping that somewhere, he would find a clue to his past. He never stopped searching, but the memories remained hidden deep within him. As the years passed, he built a new life for himself, but the knowledge of his past was a puzzle he couldn't solve. Then, one fateful day, as Jake was sitting on a park bench, a man approached him. The stranger's face was vaguely familiar, and there was a glimmer of recognition in his eyes. It was Ethan, Jake's long-lost brother. Jake had always had a feeling that he was not alone in the world, that someone was looking for him, and now he had found his family. Tears welled up in Jake's eyes as Ethan hugged him tightly. Jake's brother had never given up hope of finding him and had spent years searching for his lost sibling. As they embraced, Ethan began to tell Jake about their family, their shared memories, and their childhood adventures. Jake found it hard to believe at first, but as he listened to Ethan's stories, something magical happened. Fragments of his past started to emerge. He remembered their parents, the house he grew up in, and the village where they had once lived. With Ethan by his side, Jake slowly began to rebuild his life and piece together the fragments of his forgotten past. The reconnection with his brother was the key that unlocked the door to his lost memories, and it was like finding a long-lost piece of himself. Ethan's heartfelt stories and unwavering support were helping Jake rebuild the life he had lost. As they sat together on that park bench, Jake was filled with a sense of hope and renewed purpose. He knew he had a family who loved and cared for him, and with their support, he could face the challenges of the future. This was the beginning of a new chapter in Jake's life, a chapter filled with rediscovery, love, and the unwavering bond of family. As he learned more about his past and reconnected with his brother, he realized that even the most profound loss could be healed by the power of love and the determination to rebuild what was lost. A brother's love, with his brother Ethan by his side, Jake's journey of rediscovery continued. The more time he spent with Ethan, the more his memory began to piece itself back together. Memories of their parents, their shared adventures, and the warmth of their family life were like missing pages from a beloved book returning to him. Ethan's unwavering love and support were instrumental in helping Jake regain his sense of self. They spent hours reminiscing about their childhood, sharing laughter, and shedding tears of joy. Jake was touched by the love and commitment his brother had shown to find him and help him reclaim his lost memories. As the days passed, Jake and Ethan decided to return to the village where they had grown up. The place where Jake's life had once thrived. It was a journey filled with anticipation and nostalgia. The landscape felt familiar, and the village held the promise of answers to the questions that had haunted Jake for so long. As they reached the village, they were greeted by warm smiles and open arms. The villagers who had known Jake had never forgotten him, and his return was celebrated with a grand feast. Everyone came together to celebrate the reunion of the long-lost brothers, and it was a heartwarming event. Jake's life was slowly but surely returning to him. He resumed his work as the village lumberjack, with Ethan often accompanying him on his trips into the forest. The woods, once a place of mystery and uncertainty, became a source of comfort and joy. It was as if the forest was welcoming him back home. Secrets of the mysterious tree. With life slowly returning to normal, Jake couldn't help but wonder about the peculiar tree in the forest that had caused his memory loss. The memory of that strange tree had never left him, and he knew he had to find answers about what had happened. He decided to confide in a wise old village elder, who had knowledge of ancient legends and the secrets of the forest. The elder listened to Jake's story with great interest and explained that the tree in question was no ordinary tree. It was known as the guardian tree, and it was said to be enchanted by a guardian spirit. According to the elder, the guardian spirit had a noble purpose, to protect the village from a hidden danger that only the spirit knew of. The spirit had taken Jake's memory and his mother's locket to safeguard the village. Jake was deeply moved by the story, understanding that the guardian spirit had acted out of love for the village. However, now that the village was safe and he had reconnected with his family, he felt it was time to reclaim his memories and the precious locket. With the elder's guidance, Jake set out on a journey deep into the forest, seeking to find the guardian spirit. The journey was filled with challenges, from overcoming treacherous terrain to facing the unknown. But he was determined to speak with the spirit and explain that the village was now safe. As he ventured deeper into the forest, Jake felt the presence of the guardian spirit, a mystical and powerful force. He approached a radiant, ancient tree, and there, he found the spirit in all its glory. In a heartfelt conversation with the guardian spirit, Jake poured out his feelings and expressed his gratitude for the protection it had provided. He assured the spirit that the village was no longer in danger and that he wanted to reclaim his lost memories. The guardian spirit, moved by Jake's sincerity and the love that surrounded him, agreed to return his memories. It was a moment of profound transformation. As the memories flooded back into Jake's mind, he felt complete once more. With his memories fully restored and the village living in harmony, Jake's life had come full circle. The guardian tree, once a source of pain, had now become a symbol of strength and unity in the village. It was a reminder that even in the face of hardships, love and determination could overcome any obstacle. The village continued to cherish the story of Jake, the Lost Lumberjack, a tale that celebrated family, resilience, and the enduring power of memory and love. It was a story passed down through generations, reminding everyone that in the face of adversity, the power of love and family could overcome all challenges.